All right. Welcome back to What She Says Sports, everybody. We are in the building. It is Sunday night. Now, y'all know we are talking about the Colorado Buffaloes. And we're not doing a game analysis because we did it already. But I studied some of the issues. Now, I'll tell you this. I knew after I let my thoughts settle the next day, I said it long before I put this show together, that Colorado's issues are layered, right? And when I say layered, I mean like this, like an onion. So we're going to talk about Colorado today, and then we're talking about the Cleveland Browns. Why? Because the Cleveland Browns got a problem of their own. Now, their problems aren't layered. Their problems are straightforward. And this is what it is right here. See, the Browns fans trying to pull the Browns to try to have a winning season, play exceptional football, and be a winning team, strategize, right? But the Browns like, no, because even after today's loss, Kevin Stefanski is not changing the quarterback position. That's not our focus. And the fans are like, what? See, this is on the fans. See, we told you to boycott them. We told you to boycott them because they don't want to win. It is perplexing to y'all that they don't want to win. And we understand why. Because they know Shedeur over there is ready. And they don't want that. They put Dylan in and his stat was 0 of 1. What the hell is that? So they don't want to put Dylan in. They just want to pay him $9 million. But they wanted to cheat Shedeur out of 46 and only pay him $4 million over 4 total years, which is about $975,000 a year and some change. Instead of a $31 million signing bonus, he only gets $145,000 signing bonus. And that makes them happy. So to hell with the rest of it. They're going to try to rely on the defense to win. Did it work today? So this is where the season is going, in the crapper. Why? Because they're stubborn. They're stubborn. So come on in. We got a good show planned for you. I did just get some news. Somebody sent me a post earlier, and I went to verify it. Unfortunately, Shiloh did not make the team. So I kind of hate that, right? Shiloh didn't make the 49ers. They signed one or two other players instead. So in case you were wondering, that's the reality of it. So maybe he'll get another tryout with another team. But it wouldn't surprise me if it doesn't happen right now. Again, people act like everything is on the up and up, and it's not. It's not on the up and up in NFL, and it's not on the up and up in Colorado. But before we get into that about Colorado, you see right here, this picture looks simple. And when people see it, it's a reminder that we miss Shedeur and we miss Travis. And now we all see how valuable they were to their respective teams. Shout out to Travis Hunter, who's averaging 14 yards per play. Travis Hunter had 3 catches today for average of 14 yards. That's pretty good on the wide receiver side. Now on the defense side, 1 of 1. That's all he had access to, right? And see, you can't blame a player and say he's not a good two-way player if the team only gives him 1 target. If I'm 1 of 1, I did well with what I had, right? Now that's the same problem happening over there in Colorado, who I have described as an onion. I can only do what you give me. Now, Coach Prime said that the Jacksonville Jaguars are not using Travis properly. Some people saying that Travis was a waste at the number 2 pick overall, right? That he was a waste at the number 2 pick. But see, check this out. He was only the number 2 pick so Cleveland could get the number 1 pick. See, Jacksonville getting Travis was to help their media, help people come out to the games, marketing, right? They knew he would never be wide receiver 1 and cornerback 1. They knew that. They knew that from the beginning. They said they would let him play both sides. They did. They never told you that he's going to be wide receiver 1 and whatever he is on defense, number 1. They never told you that. So he's defense number 2 and wide receiver 1 for wide receiver 2, 3, X, Y, whatever. I don't know. But the point is, they did exactly what they said they were going to do. Shout out to Travis Hunter for getting his $31 million signing bonus, asking for it all up front. Don't know if he got it yet. Rumor is they don't get signing bonuses till December, September, which is absurd. But I'm not here to debate when they get paid. I'm here to say shout out to Travis for getting their money, because if people want to have buyer's remorse, they didn't read the contract. Jacksonville was the only team who said they let Travis play 2 ways, so he's happy with going there. The Cleveland Browns never had to draft Travis, never had to trade the number 2 pick. Remember, Tennessee didn't want the number 1 pick. Travis could have went number 1 overall, but see, they didn't want that because Coach Prime. Now, they didn't have a problem with him going number 2. Because for one, Cleveland would get the first pick in next year's draft, and y'all already know what's going on next year with the quarterbacks, right? They want the ones without melanin. Very little, right? So that's a win for Cleveland for their 2026 agenda, which means they just holding Shedeur. They also drafted Dylan to have him be a wedge to block Shedeur. They had no real intentions for him because they holding on to Flacco for dear life. Yeah, they lost today. The score don't even matter. It wasn't close. The defense couldn't be the hero, even though people are saying Cleveland now has the number 1 defense. It still ain't winning no games. You need an offense. You need a quarterback not throwing interceptions. But they don't want that. They got Shedeur right there, who's ready, who stays out practicing. And they know he's good. Because remember, they got him for a deep discount, which meant he was expensive and they got him for cheap. So they're being stubborn. And this is what you get when you stubborn. Again, this is the perfect opportunity for their fans. So turn away and go do something else. But are they going to do it? Or is it like when Deshaun Kaiser went 0-15? They just don't keep showing up because maybe it ain't nothing else to do. Again, that must be the Rolls Royce of events in Cleveland. So the Browns fans and media can't complain because y'all are not saying what needs to be said. The Browns are just being stubborn. They don't want to play with Shedeur. Even though you got him for cheap, you're still not trying to win this year. Oh, because you got the first pick in the draft next year. So to hell with this year. But they want y'all to keep showing up. You might want to sell them tickets or cancel them or do whatever you could do. This is on the Browns fans. The Browns showed you who they were. They showed you they didn't give a damn about winning. All summer long, Shedeur won a competition 2 or 3 times. They didn't give a damn. Y'all want to sit up there and call for Dylan. They put him out there to go 0-1. That's it. And how much they paying him? He's essentially a wedge, a shoe propping a door. That's it. Y'all could win this year because y'all got Shedeur. But now, like a jackass, y'all want to be stubborn. And the fans just want to keep showing up. Stop showing up. And let me tell you what you're going to get next year. See, instead of an elite quarterback that can throw for 300 yards, full of athleticism that you swear to God he didn't have, you're going to get somebody that throw for 100 yards. You're going to get what they got over there in New York. And people like, yay, the Giants won. Yeah, with a quarterback that threw for 119 yards or 111. What happened to the athleticism? What happened to the deep ball? Oh, yeah, we don't want that. Why? Because that's what this guy on your screen and Lamar Jackson can do. That's why they know Jackson Dart not going to get them there like that. They willing to hobble along as long as the quarterback is their preference. For people worried about what happened to Russell Wilson, he only had a 1-year contract. They weren't going to extend it. They didn't want him in the first place. They really wanted to get the Rams quarterback when he was shopping around. Stafford. Winston is just over there to block. They doing these black quarterbacks dirty. But yet, fans keep showing up. And now you mad because Stefanski is telling you to your face what you should have seen already by now. We not changing the quarterback. We know it's trash. We know we losing. We don't care. But you already bought them tickets and you're going to keep on showing up. They play it in your face. They play it in your face. Shedeur is good to go. And they know that. And they don't give a damn. Because you done bought your tickets and you're going to keep showing up because they say y'all loyal. Well, this is what loyalty gets you. A stubborn jackass who ain't worried about winning. And next year, I can't wait to hear the excuses when that don't work either. Oh, we got the quarterback of our choice, but we need about 2 to 3 years for him to get together. But Shedeur was the discounted 5th round pick, and he gets thrown into a competition. But then when it's time to play and they need a quarterback, no, he can't play yet. he's a project for 2 to 3 years that they know they're not going to have. They play it in your face. And you let them do it. We told you this was going to happen. Stefanski coming out and saying after every game that they lose, we're not changing the quarterbacks. When you going to listen? Damn, that's what she said. You damn right. That's what I told you. They don't care about winning. They just care about getting your dollars and telling you to your face, we cool with losing. That man is described on X as a servant leader, not to the fans. Nobody's a servant leader to a job, but it damn sure ain't to the fans. So he was led to hold, he's leading to hold Shedeur back. And y'all want to win. So at this point, you should just stop trying to want to win and sit back and take your medicine. Because we told you this what they was going to do. They got an elite quarterback that at the same time, it is so perplexing that at the same exact time, Colorado's struggling like hell. And their situation is so layered. It's so layered. It damn near chaotic that they didn't even know they was in a rebuild till they lost to BYU, who they had a 14-point lead on. Because they trying to play conservative football when all of the players, the elite wide receiver core, all of the quarterbacks came for the 45 reps that Shedeur gets. But can't nobody get that. Kaidon got 16 reps in this damn game, and people want to blame him. Let me ask you a question. When you at work or in class, at any aspect of your life, I don't care if you went to get your goddamn oil changed. You do what you're supposed to do. And you're doing a good job. And they come along. And what do? They take it from you and give it to somebody that they prefer, which is what's happening to Shedeur. But I'm talking about Kaidon at Colorado, where this should not be happening. And they take it from you. You go out there and ball out versus Georgia Tech. You make things happen. And then your OC decide, well, let me let Georgia Tech catch up because they got more at stake because we already decided Colorado ain't going nowhere this year. Georgia Tech undefeated. But Colorado could have beat Georgia Tech, a winnable game. You don't do nothing with what the quarterback did for you. You do absolutely nothing with what the defense did for you to capitalize on 3 turnovers. You do nothing but yell and scream and blame the players. Wow, the OC sneaking out the back door with trash play calling. Some might say it's conservative. Why? Conservative football has never been Coach Prime's brand of football. Why now? Have you ever seen Kaidon with one of these sleeves, whether it's around his waist or on his arm? I've seen Shedeur with one. I saw Bachmeier with one. I saw Haynes King with one. Why is it we constantly seeing Kaidon struggle to hear over 50,000 screaming fans rather than pre-designed plays that he could choose from and make decisions on? Answer that question in the chat. Have you ever seen him with a sleeve to make decisions that they sat down and talked about ahead of time? What, they don't trust him to make no decisions, but Shedeur can make decisions. Haynes King can make decisions. Bachmeier can make decisions. See, here's what Coach Prime gonna learn, a valuable lesson if he keep going down this Pat Schumer road. It's obvious, right? They're giving Kaidon only 16 reps as a dual threat quarterback with an arm. It's holding him back. Again, came out and kicked butt. Georgia Tech, fast start, right? Came out, kicked butt. Delaware, fast start. Then they took him out the game for Pat Schumer's preference and maybe some boosters. You think that didn't hurt him? Again, have you ever been in a situation where you've done everything the right way and you winning and they take you out and give it to your preference? And every day you show up to your job or to class, people talking bull crap about you. They don't want you to lead the project. They don't want you to lead the group project. They don't want you, hell, to lead the damn oil change at the Jiffy Lube. They in their feelings and they acted ugly towards you. They treating you like trash, but all you did was put them in a good position to win. But you not their preference. So they gang up on you. And then they take you out the game. This young man is 22 years old and the damage is already done. Last night I said it's juju or bust. Not because Kaidon threw a damn interception, but because they not already did him dirty. And I personally don't think he can get over it like he 55, 45, 35, or 25. He's 22 and you did him dirty. And now you want him to hug Pat Schumer and it all go away. And when he winning, he gets pulled out the game. But Omarion Miller had an unnecessary goddamn holding call and he never came out the game. And goddamn it, Preston Hodge then had 4 or 5 pass interference and he never come out the game. But I gotta come out the damn game when I put you in position to win. And you want me to get over it like I'm grown. Shedeur was mature and it was a blessing. I'm saying Kaidon immature. I'm saying this is a lot for a 22-year-old to deal with when the OC setting him up the river and the head coach is going on with the OC. See that penalty on Omarion? That hurt. But all we heard about was Kaidon called through an interception. Guess what? Maybe if he wasn't out here running from a goddamn sack after Omarion unnecessarily held the goddamn ball with them shiny shoes on, what the hell is important over there? What the hell is important over there? What kind of message are you sending to the quarterback of the team when you consistently holding him back? He come off the field and they said Coach Prime is mouthing. You was wide open. Kaidon only had 2 missed open passes. Because he only had 16 goddamn reps. Imagine him running all the way down the goddamn field. Omarion is out here unnecessarily holding. His play is negated. He don't get no credit for that. But Omarion stays in the games when adjustments should have been made because that was highly critical. A very highly critical penalty to the momentum of the game. Guess what happened? Guess what happened on the next play after Kaidon runs 29 yards down the field? Omarion is called for holding, but is left in the game. Guess what happens? Kaidon gets sacked. I wonder what he was running from. I wonder what he was thinking. I wonder who called the play. Because again, have you seen Kaidon Salter with a damn sleeve that gives him permission to call his own plays? No, he's being hindered by Pat Schumer. And Coach Prime seemingly approves it. And Coach Prime is mouthing, according to this story right here, Coach Prime is mouthing to Kaidon when he comes off the field. But it's okay for Coach Prime to be over there hugging on the preference. Coach Prime going to learn a valuable lesson. Pat Schumer ain't holding back Kaidon Salter because he don't like him. He ain't holding back. He didn't hold back Juju because he don't like him either. He did not advocate for Ponder because he don't like him. It's because he black. And he headed to the NFL where they don't want no more black quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson only had 147 yards today. They out here celebrating Jackson Dart with 111. They dumbing down the quarterback position and making sure that there are not 80% of black quarterbacks in the damn league itself, and definitely not 17 to 32. The very people cheering don't even know what the hell they cheering for. They are dumbing down the quarterback position so I can bypass the black quarterbacks coming out of college like Kaidon Salter and what's his name over there? Ashford. Robbie Ashford. Which is why he got cheated. And he threw an interception at the end of the game. You know why? Because he was frustrated. So back to my story. Can you think of a time when you did your best and they snatched it from you and gave it to somebody else who wasn't good? And then everybody around in a circle, we don't want you, undermining you. And the head coach is going along with the bullshit. The damage is done. Kaidon is 22. He not finna shake this shit off like he 35. He shouldn't even be going through this at Colorado. Colorado is the one place black quarterbacks should not be held back by their white offensive coordinators who working with other people to make sure they don't get to the goddamn league. How it is Preston Hodge can stay in the game? Oh, he going to the NFL. How is it Omarion can stay in the game after his holding penalty? Oh, he going to the NFL. Well, goddamn it, so is Kaidon Salter. And there are people making sure he don't, and too many goddamn people going along with it. They would never do this to Shedeur. And stop expecting Kaidon to be grown like Shedeur, because most people aren't. This ain't right, bro. They did that kid dirty. They want a public hug from Pat Schumer to change things. Why do we even have to see that? That tell you something was wrong right there. And Pat Schumer went right up in that booth and did the same shit that he did for Georgia Tech, that he did with BYU, and he gonna keep doing it every goddamn time Colorado plays a team where there's something at stake for the other team. Colorado gonna have to lose. Georgia Tech, perfect. I say move on from Kaidon because the damage is done, and he's 22. And the region of the brain for decision making is not fully developed. It's going to take him a minute to move past this bullshit that was already done to him. And then they still doing it. I saw Coach Prime hug Kaidon once. And to mouth wide open. The man got 2 missed passes. But who the hell punts the ball on 4th and 1? That ain't them kids' fault. Who the hell left Preston Hodge now with all them damn pass interferences? That ain't those kids' fault. That's coaching. Somebody said earlier today in the comments, I think the cameras need to be cut off. And I said, let me think about it. Now, I don't have a problem with cameras, and I don't think cameras are the problem. I think this is the problem, and this is why the cameras need to go off. Colorado's problems are layered. You got a head coach who either cannot or absolutely refuses to get rid of the problem. Half the problem, and that's Pat Schumer. Why the hell is Pat Schumer, respectfully, why the hell is Pat Schumer still calling the plays? I asked that question on the Coach Prime's post on IG. 50 people liked it. Respectfully, why is Pat Schumer still calling the plays? Why doesn't Kaidon have a setup like Shedeur had, where Kaidon can call predetermined plays based on the situation? Kaidon is not set up to succeed at Colorado. He's not, but that's what he came for. Just like the wide receivers came because they saw what Travis and LeJontay did and where it got them. That's what the quarterbacks came for too, and it ain't happening. This so-called conservative play is bullshit. It's to dumb down the quarterback. How many deep balls did we have? How many deep balls did we have? One or none? Sincere Brown, known to be the second fastest wide receiver in all of college football last week. How many deep balls did he get? He only had what, one target? That ain't them kids' fault. That's not them kids' fault at all. People mad because Kaidon missed the open pass to Draylon. Who was Draylon in the game? Why was the offensive line on the right side changed? From number 84, who's the only goddamn right tackle I've ever seen block in Colorado. Why was he taken out the game when the left tackle, who is Jordan Seaton, played the whole damn game? Why would you take out what's working? Draylon was working. Understand this. BYU made mistakes. There's no such thing as a football game without mistakes. It happens, but that ain't the norm. Again, when Ashford threw, who's quarterback for Wake Forest, when he threw his interception, people hurried and consoled him. You know why? Because he was frustrated and they knew why. Because Wake Forest was being cheated by the refs. See, Colorado being cheated from within. This the second damn time this done happened. And nobody wants to get rid of Pat Schumer. Why? What are we protecting? From the fact that in year one, we had to get rid of somebody and we let them bleed the season out. And here we are again, about to do it again. Romy Bean said, how many deep balls? Was that one deep ball all night? The stats say 0. I guess it's relative depending on what it is by the word deep ball. Deep being the word. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. See, people think Kaidon missed 20 passes. No, he only had 16. You know, in that Baylor game, Shedeur had 41 passes, 41 reps. Kaidon had 16. 16. 16 passes, and he don't have a damn arm sleeve? Has anybody answered the question? Does he have a damn arm sleeve, whether it's on his hip or whether it's on his arm? Does he have a sleeve to independently make decisions like most quarterbacks do to call plays, or does he constantly have to struggle? I'm going to tell you something right now. If he don't have a sleeve to make these plays and he got to constantly struggle over 50,000 a year, I'd be pissed off too. And for Omarion, who wanted to know why Kaidon threw an interception, you tell us why it is that you committed holding. You committed a holding penalty that changed the dynamic of the game. Yeah, he frustrated. It's a lot of quarterbacks are frustrated. Ashford was frustrated, but people understood why Ashford was frustrated, and they were emphatic with him, not with Kaidon. I think it's true what they saying. They don't like him. I don't give a damn who you like. We pay you to play football, so I'm gonna need you to get the hell out there and catch that ball. But see, for them coaches that left them Preston Hodge and that leaving Omarion Miller, but take out Kaidon Salter, y'all ain't shit. Y'all ain't shit, because you telling that kid, we don't value you. You see that happening to Shedeur every goddamn day, but you doing it to Kaidon Salter. Ain't it funny how people get you to turn on your own and hold your own back? Because that's what you doing. And if they holding back Kaidon Salter because they don't want no more black quarterbacks in the NFL and they trying to control who comes out to the NFL with these college kids, whether it's Ashford or Kaidon Salter, I got news for you. There's only one black head coach in the Big 12. And from what I can see over here from Atlanta, they don't want you either. And they going to get you just like Kaidon is getting got. Y'all ain't shit for the way y'all treating that kid. Yeah, he needs to go and come out the game because he's 22 and he not going to shake this shit off like he's 30 or 40. He don't have the life experience to deal with this kind of bullshit, especially when it's happening with a black head coach, multiple black coaches. This is what these kids desire to get. In February 2025, a poll went out at NFL talking about how disappointed they are not to have black head coaches. And Colorado got them all thrown over there. But it's Preston Hodges' year, so he can make pass interference after pass interference and cause us problems. Omarion over here unnecessarily holding. No damn adjustments was made. And then Kaidon gets sacked. It's his fault. But nobody paid attention except for maybe me and a few other people that they took number 84 off the goddamn right side. What the hell you switch that up? When the shit is working, Draylon, they move away from the run game. That's the problem. That's the damn problem. Kaidon don't have an arm sleeve to think independently and call plays. You know why? So they can control what it is he does. That's a damn problem. That's a damn problem. Removing the goddamn number 84 right tackle. And Kaidon got to run around and scramble and get sacked because all of a sudden, who the hell they put over there ain't doing his goddamn job. In other words, when it's working, the OC gonna make sure it stops. This is exactly what happened with Georgia Tech. Why would you move away from the run game? And then what did you go to? They had 60 some odd plays. We only had like 53. We punted the ball at what? 4-1? 4th and 6? You mean to tell me we can't get one damn yard? We got running backs, Draylon and Michael Welch, that can give you 6.5 yards on average. That ain't conservative. That's some bullshit. You know damn well when you punt the ball back, you're giving the other team momentum. This happened more than once. So the cameras need to go off until this chaotic situation get together. And what do I mean by chaotic? It's obvious that Pat Schumer is no longer the only person trying to throw the game over there. It's obvious them damn kids is in their feeling. It's obvious them damn coaches don't know how to rotate because they worried about who the hell going to the NFL, but nobody gives a damn that Kaidon is going to the NFL. 16 goddamn reps for a quarterback. All y'all doing is letting Pat Schumer do what the hell they doing to Shedeur. Hold back Kaidon Salter. And no, I don't think he's advanced or mature enough to deal with this kind of bullshit. So take him out. And when you put Juju in there, you know what you're going to find out? That the same shit that's happening to Kaidon going to happen to Juju. Because Pat Schumer don't want him to be the quarterback either. Because if you listen to him when he talked, you would have heard him say, I like Staub because he's cerebral. What does is the narrative about black head coaches and black quarterbacks? The decision-making ability. And right now, it ain't Kaidon who only has a decision-making ability, a problem seemingly so. Pat Schumer is making the world think Coach Prime can't coach. You know what the two biggest complaints are about Colorado football? And it ain't Kaidon Salter. It's Pat Schumer's play calling and Coach Prime's clock management. See, this ain't about Kaidon Salter. And Coach Prime keep following Pat Schumer, he gonna be fired. Somebody said to me, we were talking on X, and I said they need to go and put Juju out there. And they said, no, let Juju redshirt. I'm like, why? It's 7 games. 7 games left in the season. 7 whole games. This is perfect because this is clearly a rebuilding year. And I said, Pat Schumer ain't going to let you win shit because if you have not noticed, you've only beaten teams who ain't got nothing to lose. You didn't beat Georgia Tech, who I told you, I heard them say, oh, they going to win the ACC. See, that was what was at stake. And they straight up cheated Wake Forest to make sure that they win the ACC. I told y'all, Pat Schumer gift wrapped that game and gave it to Brett Key. What was at stake for BYU? They ranked. Oh my God, how would it look for Colorado to defeat a ranked team? It wouldn't look like Coach Prime don't know what he's doing and is not great at decision making. And Coach Prime clearly would not fit the narrative that black coaches can't coach, which is why they only get a year, 2 max. The narrative changes. So Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter didn't need to be coached, but they ain't gonna talk about Shedeur. Travis didn't need to be coached. But you know what the narrative is? Travis ain't ready for the NFL. Whose fault is that? Pat Schumer's. Or is he gonna blame Coach Prime behind closed doors? See, rolling with the dude that's undermining your quarterback ensures that you're gonna get fired. Because he might be ready to go to the nursing home, but he gonna tear down your season. And they gonna kick everybody out of there. And I do mean everybody. Or they gonna maybe let you suffer and start publicly getting embarrassed when the recruits start decommitting and going somewhere else. To have recruits, a quarterback recruit at that game from 2027, a black quarterback at that game. And Kaidon only got 16 reps. And Preston Hodge was allowed to do his pass interference thing. And Omarion was allowed to stay in the game after holding. And then they see the quarterback get sacked after that, but no adjustments are made. I mean, if he changed his mind, don't be surprised. And I ain't going to be mad if Juju leave. Because he going to be caught up right in this madness. This shit is an onion with layer after layer after layer. Obviously, the coaches that put the players in are letting certain players play, even though they're causing penalties because they're going to the NFL. But that don't seem to be the case. Nobody seems to care about that for Kaidon. Instead, they are doing him dirty to the point them kids is in on it. I can't imagine what it's like for him over there. So, yeah, I say sit him down because he's only 22. I personally think this is what he going to learn real fast. You're going to have to grow up and understand you got to deal with some difficult people. And when they ostracize you, you got to figure out what's important and what you're going to deal with. But if you're going to stay here, if you're going to move on. Maybe your dream changes. Yeah, maybe they are messing it up for you for the NFL. But understand the NFL ain't no better than this. It's the same thing. Remember, Coach Prime has what? An NFL coaching staff. You in the same scenario you would be in the NFL. So I'm going to ask this question again. Does Kaidon Salter have an arm sleeve to call his own plays anywhere on his body? If not, like I said, he's not set up to succeed because you know you can't hear over 50,000 screaming fans. We all know that. We all know it ain't Kaidon's fault that somebody decided to punt at 4-1. We know that don't make no damn sense. I don't give a damn if it was 4-6. You don't believe in your team. See, when you kick on 4-6, you believe your defense gonna get it done. Nobody in any of those booths with headset believe that defense gonna get any goddamn thing done. We already knew the secondary was lacking. Thank God for Taufik Bayard, because he's our leading tackler again. And you know what Taufik said in his press conference? We had them. Facts. You had Georgia Tech. and Pat Schumer let him go. You had BYU and Pat Schumer let him go. But it's funny, Pat Schumer's still employed when he should have already been let go after Georgia Tech. But Kaidon is the one that get kicked on. Y'all ain't shit for that. The damage is already done. He 22. He ain't finna recover from that right now. Hell, honestly, most 22-year-olds that get done dirty like this, they locked up. You know why? Because they frontal lobe not fully developed. The region of the brain that's specific to decision making is not there. And here's what happens. They flash out. Because see, they've been working for something. And it's something that they had. And then suddenly they get upset and they flash out. See, y'all good. Because y'all playing with that man's livelihood. Imagine going to a school where the head coach is black and you think it's a relief. It's a lot of black coaches around there. Great culture. You ain't even worried about the culture. You've been playing football so long, you used to the culture not being what you expect it to be. You just trying to get to the next level. And all of a sudden, the same BS that's happening over here is happening at the white schools. And you can't get nobody to do nothing about it, but they all hating on you. All right. That's just like in the New York Giants. Same thing. In the New York Giants, they are, I don't know how many is that? 15? We want Jackson Dart because he got swag. Do you know how stupid it is for a black NFL player who watched Shedeur get berated and devalued because he wear a chain to cheer on Jackson Dart because he wear a chain? Do you know how stupid that is? It's amazing how they get you to turn on your own people. And you celebrating your culture on them. Going against your own kind at a time when your people taking over at the QB1 position. And instead of standing up for us or finding out what's really going on, you cheering on a quarterback throwing 111 yards. So understand this. That's why Lamar Jackson only got 147 yards, because that's 32 many. And then when your buddies start coming out of college and they don't want their athleticism and talent, don't forget what I said. Oh, no, you wanted Dart, right? See, you think you cheering for Dart. No, that ain't what you're cheering for, buddy. You think you cheering for style. No, that ain't what you're cheering for. You cheering against your own. You cheering against your own. And I'm going to say this one more time. You are useful as long as you are useful, and then you will become a liability and you will get discarded. If I don't want the majority of black starting quarterbacks to be black in the NFL, and I have a black OC, and there are no black OCs in NFL, and mine came from the NFL, well, what mentality does he have? And how do you think that's going to work for you as a head coach? It ain't. Because y'all ain't friends. Do you even know how he really got there? The same thing that's happening to Kaidon is what's going to happen to Coach Prime. And I know it's going to be some people pissed off, but hey, if you don't like the truth, I don't know what to tell you. There's only one black head coach in the Big 12, and there are people trying to get it to zero. And you know what they're going to say? The same thing they saying about Kaidon. He's not good at decision making. That is the narrative they use against all black quarterbacks and black head coaches in football. So you ain't cheering for style. You ain't cheering for Jackson Dart. You're cheering against your own as they making progress. So let me see what y'all saying. Let me see what y'all are saying. And don't forget, does Kaidon have the plays that he can call already predetermined? And why it is? Tell me why it is that Colorado, who never plays conservative football, with a quarterback getting 41 reps, got a quarterback that's a dual threat, which is better than the one they had before, with only 16 reps. And he don't have the ability to call his plays unless y'all can find that sleeve. Talking about the bad news Browns put a curse on themselves. They're always going to always have problems. Yep. Because they're not trying to win. They're not trying to win, bro. The Browns are not trying to win at all. And it's crazy to me that people over there, if we've been talking about it all summer long, they're like, oh, okay, so he's still not gonna put in. No, he's not gonna put in another quarterback because Shedeur right there. This dude that stay on the field with a ball in his hand, even on draft day, is right there and ready to go. And this is what they don't want. But this ain't all they don't want. They don't want no black head coaches. Well, they got 4. They started with 6. They got it down to 4. Same thing for college football. So understand this. You're not cheering for what you think you're cheering for. And I told y'all, 64,000 people kept showing up to watch Deshaun Kaiser go 0-15. With Hugh Jackson, I think, as a head coach, what you think they was cheering for? It wasn't Deshaun Kaiser and it wasn't Hugh Jackson. Remember, Hugh Jackson reported the same thing that Brian Flores reported. He was incentivized to lose. Hey, everybody, how you doing? Hey, Political Lil, how you doing? It said, I'm glad Joe Flacco is a disaster. Now it's time for the mayor of Munchkinland to go ahead and get his turn at bat. We gonna see. We said, I know I said it'll be Miami. I think if they let, it's gonna have to be against a lesser opponent. If they let Dylan play, it's gonna have to be after a lesser opponent, and that's Miami, because their schedule starts to change when they get to Miami. Because I think I looked at the stats and Dylan was 0 for 1. I'm like, how the hell you go 0 for 1? Like, that's insane to me. Let me share this with y'all. This is hilarious. This is coming from the Browns fans media faction. And I think this is totally hilarious. Yeah, you see it. So basically, you have people over there who are upset because it says Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski said he's still not considering a QB change. That's not our focus. We didn't do enough on offense. You see? They didn't do enough on offense. Those interceptions wasn't enough. It's crazy because he gonna say that every week until they switch to Dylan. Every week. This is what they gonna say every week until they switch to Dylan. Now you tell me what's the motive? What's the strategy? It's not to win. It said Stefanski said he's still not considering a QB change. That's not our focus. QB is not our focus. And you a Browns fan and you keep running over there. All right. That's why I don't watch their games. I don't even know if I think I watched the highlights. They could have been on, but I was busy doing other things. Why would you pay attention to somebody when the quarterback is the king of the NFL, the star of the team? Quarterback is not our focus, and they drafted 2 in the draft. And one of them, I think they're paying $9 million, and they don't even want to play him. He went 0 for 1. Because when they went and got Flacco, after they pivoted away from Shedeur, after they knew they wanted to get Dylan instead, they pivoted to Flacco knowing Shedeur would never see that field. What does that tell you? Remember, they got him for cheap. So what does it tell you? So, people upset, they in their feelings. But, I'm like, I mean, it ain't like you don't know that they trash. You don't, I mean, you can't say you didn't know they wasn't serious. When have they ever been serious? When have they ever been serious? This is what people say is happening. This is what Stefanski is doing to the team. I think this is hilarious. I think it is hilarious. But they knew this already, right? When has this guy ever been serious? Didn't he have a trash year last year? Why would this year be any different? You got a star quarterback over there who had 41 reps on average per game. Best quarterback in the NFL. I mean, coming out of college. Hell, best one in the draft that we just had. And that's not even a debate. And you want him to sit behind the guy you paid $9 million to. See, that tell you, even though they got Shedeur for cheap, they still don't want it because they don't want to win with Shedeur. But y'all just keep running on up there. Just keep running on up there. It said in the Joe Flacco in the first half, 10 of 15, 2 interceptions, 0 touchdown, and a 45 PFF rating. I think by the time the game ended, it was 12. So this is the sentiment. People just over there banging their head against the wall. See, that's what I mean by you stubborn. That's what it is. You stubborn. It said Joe Flacco had a 12.3 QBR today. And what did Stefanski say? We still not changing the quarterback because the quarterback is not our focus. So they got Flacco, paid him $4 billion because the quarterback is not their focus. So they didn't even want to try to win at all before they even made the deal for Travis. They'll tell you why they didn't get Travis. It tell you why they didn't get Travis and Shedeur, because they didn't want to win. They just want to get their quarterback out the next year's class. And the Browns fans, they just going to have to be okay with it. See, that's what they don't want to say. They don't want to say the truth. Oh, we don't want these quarterbacks because people going to go throw holy hell. Why you don't want these quarterbacks? Yeah, see, they don't want to answer that question. So to hell with them. Until you do right by Shedeur. What up, good people? What up, what up, what up? It said, well, Lamar has a hamstring injury. Maybe Shedeur should have gone to Baltimore. For what? Who told you Shedeur was going to be QB2, Gretchen? Who said Shedeur was going to be QB2? Let's look at their depth chart and see who QB2 is. Oh, wait, I know. Cooper Rush. They were not putting Shedeur in front of Cooper Rush. See, people think because Baltimore called that Baltimore was offering Shedeur QB2. See, they didn't tell you that part. They were never putting Shedeur in front of Cooper Rush. They won't even put Shedeur in front of Dillon. You really think they won't put Shedeur in front of Cooper Rush? No, he would have been where Huntley is. And Huntley don't even want to go back to Cleveland. See, people didn't listen. They never told you they were drafting him at QB2. They were never putting Shedeur in front of Cooper Rush. That's how people get played. That's how you get played because you're not listening. You're not listening. That's not what they said they were doing. They called him to get him and stash him at QB3 where he currently is right now in Cleveland. Because Cleveland already knew he would outproduce his draft stock. That's why he in Cleveland. So no, wouldn't have never worked. Hell, he closer to the pen in Cleveland. It says Shedeur needs to demand a trade. For what? So he can get retaliated against like Deshaun Watson? Then maybe he'll get half a bill this time, you know, because Deshaun Watson did get $230 million after he asked for a trade. So demanding a trade for a rookie is career suicide. When he's ready to let go of his career, he'll ask for one. It said our fans need to show up to the stadium. Our fans need to not to show up to the stadium. Yeah, okay. 64,000 Browns fans on average showed up to watch Deshaun Kaiser go 0-15. What the hell are these people really cheering for? It ain't football. Fans should demand a full refund on tickets. Some of them like it. Some of them like it. I hate to tell you. Some of them like it. If they didn't demand a refund, watch it. Deshaun Kaiser go 0-15. If Hugh Jackson was his head coach, this is the same head coach that was incentivized to lose. What y'all think they coming to watch with all of that happening? Black men fail for 3,000. Black men fail because that's all I'm seeing. That's bold for them to show fans they don't care about winning. I totally agree. But see, we all know, right? See, first, people think it's all fun and games because it's happening to Shedeur in Cleveland, right? And they're like, oh, you know, they treat Shedeur like trash. Some of the people make them feel good. It make them feel good that they treat Shedeur like trash. They don't want 17 black quarterbacks either. But see what they didn't realize, some of them know. I told you, some fans know They're going to sit back patiently waiting and support because they want to get their quarterback in next year's draft. And I already told you how they trying to set that up. Don't be surprised if it's who you don't think it should be, because it probably is, right? They don't care. It ain't about talent. I don't want your athleticism. I don't care about your talent. That was the message to Shedeur. We don't care if you can make us money. We don't care about your athleticism. We don't care about your talent. And we don't care about your daddy. We don't even care about losing, because they done bought their tickets already. So yes, it is very bold to treat your fans that way, but the fans keep going for it. So again, what the hell are they celebrating? But see, now, they thought Stefanski and them had a plan to win. See, if Stefanski and them wanted to win, they would have put Shedeur out there for $975,000. See, that tell you how deep-seated the hatred is. I can exploit you for $975,000, but I know it hurts you more for me to have you on the bench while we lose. Because we telling you we don't value you. Same thing. Coach Prime said, they're not using Travis right in Jacksonville. I think they use Travis less on defense. Let's see. Elaine said, traditionally, in the spiritual sense, the spiritual context, which this is not, a servant leader is a servant to a mission. He is a servant to a mission. The question is, whose mission? Maybe the same people that Haslam donates money to. That's the mission. Understand that. That's the mission. See, the fans thought it was all funny games when they was holding Shedeur back. But see, the fans never put two and two together to realize, with their own eyes, they saw Shedeur was the best quarterback. They just knew they was going to get to see Dylan. Why would I put Dylan out there? He don't look good. That just blows the whole story up. That means if I put Dylan out here and he's 0-1, that means if Flacco can't go, I have no choice but to go to Dylan. I'm going to have to go get somebody else because I can't put Shedeur out here. If I put Shedeur out here, then y'all going to know, if you didn't pick up on it when I said we got him for a deep discount, you're going to know he should have been drafted in the first round. Oops, wait. You already know that because you watched him ball out with the Panthers. And yet you still keep showing up. They got you. They got you. They got you. Because you keep showing up, you done gave them your money, and they ain't finna give you nothing for it. They finna do what the hell they want to do. And what do they say? They say, oh, the Cleveland Browns fan base is loyal. I don't think loyal is the proper word that they're using behind closed doors. I bet the word they're using behind closed doors starts with an S, and then it got a T after it, followed by a U, then a P, then an I, and then a D with LOL behind it. Like you kept showing up, and all the while, the malfeasance was right in your face. Coach Primes need to get the Cowboys job, and Shedeur and Shiloh. Okay. Shiloh didn't make the 49ers. Didn't Coach Prime play there? Then what is the message? Did he get a tryout with the Falcons? No. Did he stay in Tampa where he knows Coach Bowles? No. The 49ers? No. Maybe the Ravens. We'll see. It's a good point. CP always wanted to dominate and demolish. Now they're conservative. It doesn't make sense, right? What people don't realize is Coach Prime with the head set up, right? Which again is unlike a lot of coaches. Look at BYU coach, always staying in contact. It sends a message that if shit go wrong, I ain't had nothing to do with it. But it also sends a message that I'm cool with everything that's going on. Again, imagine being Kaidon playing youth ball for Coach Prime, watching Shedeur get 41 reps. You think you're going to come over here and get the same aggressive style of play, and then suddenly the coach that coached you in Little League wants to go along with Pat Schumer, who prefers Stop, because he's cerebral and I like the way he thinks like a quarterback. I can't imagine what it feels like to watch somebody that for your whole life you either played ball for, admired, knew it had just allowed what you was wanting to get, and you go over there and it shuts off like a water to a faucet, and you don't get no love, and they don't do shit to stop it. Valuable lesson incoming. If I don't want 17 black quarterbacks and I only got 17 black starting quarterbacks in the NFL, if I only have one black head coach in the Big 12, I don't want no black coaches in the Big 12 either. Not no head coaches. So while Kaidon seemingly is the problem around there, everybody else on the outside sees Pat Schumer as the problem, and Coach Prime has not fired him, and sees Coach Prime as a problem when it comes to clock management, not Kaidon. So sometimes we standing in the forest and we can't see the trees. See, sometimes the situation you're in is going one way to you, but to the world looking outside, you the problem. You the problem. Schumer not just over there setting up Kaidon. Guess who else he's setting up? And he ain't the only one. And you not friends with them. Because if you thought you was friends with these folks before the draft and what they show you. All right, round 2 coming right on up. Coming right on up. Round 2. Yeah, he needs to fire Schumer and Livingston. But hell, Colorado done paid Livingston all of this money. And the crazy part is they should have gave it to Travis and BJ Green, Levanta Bentley, and Nakai Hill Green, and Shedeur. That's who they should have gave it to. That's who they should have gave it to, because that's who did the work. The Dogs. See how they made Livingston look good? See how Colorado leaped to pay Livingston, but they didn't pay Coach Prime yet? And you think them folks your friends? Shit. All right. Joe Flacco fired. He's what? Did they fire him yet? It said undermine that young man's confidence. Right. You don't undermine his confidence. You want to put out a picture of him hugging Pat Schumer. What did I say? Don't trust it. Don't. And what happened? Pat Schumer went right up in that booth. And right after the cameraman was showing us that dude standing over his shoulder looking to see what he was doing, Pat Schumer said, shit, I'm going to do what the hell I want to do. And proceeded to slow down the game, just like he did from Georgia Tech. And was nobody looking over his shoulder. So what that tell you is, if the cameraman saw somebody standing looking over his shoulder, and we saw it, Pat Schumer knew, and he proceeded to do what the hell he wanted to do any goddamn way, just like the Georgia Tech game. That man is not your friend. He is making you look like they say black head coaches are, incompetent and don't have the decision-making ability to lead. They're not going to say what we'd say. God damn, Shedeur and Travis was like that. They're not going to say that because they don't want to give them no credit either. Instead, your damn kickers are the star of the team. Interesting. And not Mata, but the other one. Yeah, okay. Yeah, because they did him right. They did him dirty. They did Kaidon dirty, and they want him to snap out of it. Have you fired Pat Schumer yet? That's what you need to do. You need to go over there and fire Pat Schumer. Coach Prime, I love you, but I don't know what you're doing, boo. I'm like, I feel like there's a layer of life you ain't looking at, and it's the same repeat from the draft, getting ready to come on and blindside you. Pat Schumer is not your friend, and he don't act like your employee. He not just undermining Kaidon, he undermining you too. Please know that. And being wealthy ain't gonna stop it, because black is black. The 3rd and 17 QB scramble was the biggest letdown. That began the issues on the game. That's bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. By that time, if you're talking about that sack, them damn penalties. The biggest issue is punting the goddamn ball at 4-1. The biggest issue is letting Preston Hodge stay out there with them damn pass interference. The biggest issue is not knowing how to scheme. I swear to God, Livingston scheme like he don't know who the hell we playing to the whistle blow. So you don't know that when a quarterback wear number 47, that he gonna run the goddamn ball. You don't know when to run man. You don't know when to run zone. The position coaches don't know to take Omarion out after an unnecessary holding because he might need a minute. Coach Prime don't know when to call a goddamn timeout to give Kaidon a chance to catch his breath and encourage him like you did Shedeur, like you did Style. But no, the reporters catch Coach Prime telling Kaidon as he comes off the field, wide open. Now that's some shit right there. See, they're already setting you up. And now they're setting you up with your own people because people don't like that. No, I don't think cameras are a problem, but I think it's chaotic and they need to be off. That's what I think. I think it's a goddamn onion with layer after layer, and it's multiple problems. Your defensive coordinator is suspect and got paid for your players' hard work last year. Whoever let Colton Hood walk should be fired. Whoever keep leaving Preston Hodge out there, penalty after penalty after penalty, because he going to the NFL, should be fired. Whoever left Omarion out there after that holding call should be fired. That you heard it? And they talking about how the penalties happen at a crucial time, but you want to talk about, goddamn it, interception, but you ain't talking about Kaidon getting sacked. You ain't talking about taking out number 84, who the only goddamn right tackle to ever block since I've been watching him play. What'd you take him out the game for? When the shit is working, it gets shut down. And that's how they catch up to us. That's on Pat Schumer. They already said at the beginning of the season, Coach Prime need coaching help. You know what they saying, right? You can't coach. What the hell you need coaching help for? You got all these NFL people over there. All they doing is burning your damn players. Preston Hodge ain't going to the goddamn NFL with 60 yards and pass interference. But y'all worried about Preston Hodge going, so you don't want to take him out the game. But Kaidon is going and y'all act like y'all don't see it. What the hell y'all got going on, bro? You ain't gonna sit up and screw that kid over. Think he's supposed to get over it by hugging Pat Schumer, and then Pat Schumer go back in the booth and do the same thing he did against Georgia Tech. If I'm Kaidon, I'm defeated. Because I'm over here busting my butt. What did I say the players need to give? Effort. What did they give? 120%. And what did Colorado do with it after the first quarter? Not a goddamn thing. And everybody talked about with ease after the halftime when Kaidon completed that pass to Draylon, how effortless it looked. And what did I say? Football ain't this hard. The shit that's happening is intentional. Every team we play with something at stake for them, they gonna get their way. And our players are being encouraged to come out here and do this and do that and do this. And when they do it, what happens? Pat Schumer holds down the goddamn game. The reporter said it. Well, BYU got their footing. Yeah, because they were given time to get their footing. We ain't making the proper adjustments. We worried about some people going to the NFL, but not the others. That's called favoritism. It's a hot-ass mess. And the cameras don't know, but you're capturing it. You're capturing it. So if I was you, I'd just stop for a minute. Film the ground or the grass growing or something. But you're telling more than needs to be told right now. Coach Prime need to get the OC and the DC faces like he is Salter's face. Is that what Flea mean by accountability? Yeah, let us not forget. Y'all said Coach Flea was jealous. See, I can compartmentalize. He might have said what he said because he in his feelings, but did he lie? See, that's the difference. Two things can be true. He could be in his feelings, but he also could be right. There ain't no accountability around there. How can it be accountability if Preston Hodge is allowed to have 60 goddamn yards and pass interference through 2 games? 45 or 60, pick one. How is it accountability if Omarion can stay in the game after a severe penalty for holding, which was totally unnecessary? But then at the end of the game, he on his knees begging Jesus, wanting to know why it is Kaidon threw a goddamn interception. Well, what the hell did you think was going to happen when you negated his 29 yards? Again, he might be in his feelings, and I get it because he only 22, and y'all lucky because you playing with his livelihood. And a lot of these young folks, when you play with them like that, they just flash out. So y'all, he good. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you what I read. I read that BYU's coach said, yeah, Bachmeier, I praise his family. When he was out there playing, he didn't look disheveled. He was calm, cool, and collected. I praise his family for raising such a solid kid. They said at the end of the game, Coach Prime said, yes, the lights are bright for some of these kids. I'm like, well, whoa, okay. You see how you're getting played? You see how you're getting played? Only positive things from BYU coach. But you, the media got you throwing your players under the bus. Coach Prime, yeah, the lights too bright for these kids. They got to fix that. It ain't the goddamn lights. I feel sorry for them kids because I know one of them want to yell back at him, you need to do something about this play calling, but they can't do that. And all of that messiness and yik yak and clickish, because I can see it's clickish. All of that happening while Kaidon is the quarterback. What you mad at Kaidon for? Kaidon didn't give himself 16 reps. He only missed 2 open passes. He ain't the one that punted the ball at 4th and 3 in one game and 4th and 1 in another game. He ain't the one that's doing that. He not the one leaving in Preston Hodge because he going to the NFL after pass interference after pass interference. He not the one that left in Omarion. He not the one that decided not to use the second fastest wide receiver in college football and not throw any goddamn deep balls. He not the one that decided that the quarterback don't need a sleeve to call his own plays like the last quarterback did. He not the one that decided after 4.5, 5, or 6 or 7 years of goddamn football to all of a sudden want to be conservative after being aggressive. Them kids have been baited and switched. Why you think the wide receivers want to stop? Because they know he gonna throw the ball, but he ain't good. They young. I said it. Stop listening to these damn kids. And kids can be cruel. They just want the damn ball. But they don't have enough critical thinking skills to say out loud, Coach Prime, we think you need to get rid of Pat Schumer. They ain't gonna say that. But everybody else has said it. Has it happened? Coach Prime need to keep that damn headset down by his mouth and act like you doing something. Because I'm going to tell you what they're going to say. I mean, you ain't talking in the mic anyway, so we can just go ahead on and hire Pat Schumer over here. And wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? And that young black recruit coming out of 2027 at quarterback would never have a goddamn opportunity because Pat Schumer don't think he cerebral and that he think like a quarterback. This is a double-edged sword. It's layered. It's a lot of issues. And honestly, changing the juju ain't going to fix it. It would just give people a visual relief. Because Pat Schumer going to do the same thing he did when Juju was in that goddamn game. Call them goddamn bubble screens. Yeah, they needed weeks so they can compete. Facts. Facts. Y'all see they created a narrative that Cam Ward was better than Shedeur and fooled the people that don't know football. Use Cam Ward as a pawn to replace Shedeur Sanders. Right. And why was that? So Shedeur Sanders don't go number 1. I told y'all, it's so many people that block Shedeur. It's crazy to me how I watch people cheering. Oh my God, Jackson Dart, Jackson Dart. I said, I don't give a damn because karma gonna come over there. Let me tell you why. I don't give a damn. I said this on draft night. It's a 4-hour video. Go watch it. I was livid. Didn't even go live the next day. Y'all see, I go live every single day. I was upset because I realized at that moment they decided to disparage Shedeur so they can get Dart. Because they didn't want to get Shedeur. They didn't want Russ either. But see, Russ had to be moved out of Pittsburgh. You know why? Because he took them to the playoffs. And they don't want Mike Tomlin to get there. You see, people think they cheering. For one thing, you cheering against yourself. Oh, we like Dart because he wear a chain. But you watch Shedeur get smacked down for it. And you don't have nothing to say. This is how they do you. Every single time. Julian Johnson Law. Black people underestimate Jim Crow and how long they willing to go. You crack the code. Yep. It's that they using college coordinator and coaches to help. Yeah. And here's the thing. When they wanted, of all teams, Cleveland, the Cleveland Browns OC to be the head coach at UCLA. Hell no. Why them? Because who's the servant leader over there? Well, if he the boss, then who are the people he hired? You see? And now I'm going to spread them out to these college teams because this is the only way I can control who come in. They don't want Coach Prime to be the head coach. But instead of Coach Prime helping Kaidon get to the NFL, seemingly, Coach Prime either must not be aware what the hell is going on. Because we said it. We don't know why the hell it is Cleveland look like Colorado at all. That should have never happened. And Pat Schumer should have been fired after that Georgia Tech game because the blind man can see. He held back the team, went 3 and out, didn't even take advantage of what the defense did for them. Same thing in this game. Colorado said they wanted to start off fast. Pat Schumer said, sure, go ahead. And what he do? Slow down. Now the next 3 games gonna go the same damn way. Unless he worried about being caught, but I don't think he is. Doc either. I heard the announcers say, yeah, at the end of the game, Doc Livingston anticipated something, so he called to play for it. I'm like, so you wait till the end of the game to anticipate something. See, Schumer ain't the only one mucking around. Just like Kaidon, I don't know who it is he can trust. Maybe Juju. And see, Juju seeing all of this, and so are his parents. And that kid that's supposed to be coming here in 2027. See, I think it's going to take for Coach Prime to get hit with the recruiting cycle first. But see, I already noticed something about the recruiting. I ain't going to tell you what it is, but I'm going to let y'all go ahead on and put it in the chat. I just go like this. Yup. Ain't sure I'm changing. It says Schumer had case out since the spring and has not been created. Right. And he has no intention of it. Coach Prime, I believe, is in denial. He might be in denial. He might be. He came from the NFL. Exactly. 4th and 1. Ooh, when you don't go for it on 4th and 1. It's when you don't go for it on 4th down and 17. I get it. I get it. When you don't go for it on 4th and 3, hell no. You don't trust to get 3 yards. But on 4th and 1, and you wonder why that kid played like he did toward the end. He played the same way he did toward the end. Just like Robbie Ashford. They game ended the same way with an interception. You know why? Because Robbie, I know for a fact, was trying to make something happen. And so was Kaidon. That's why their games ended the same way. But I watched everybody come console Robbie because everybody could see that the refs were visibly cheating for Georgia Tech, which I was so disappointed in Georgia Tech. But you know what? They're going to get caught. I ain't worried about it. They just trying to get Haynes King to come out the ACC first. For the same reason they wanted Jackson Dart to come out over Jalen Milroe. See, people don't know what they be cheering for. Colorado is a layered onion right now. And I don't know who Kaidon can trust besides Juju. That's why Juju walked out the tunnel with him this game and the last one at U of H. See, here's the thing. When God puts you in position to protect and you don't protect, you're going to lose that position because you didn't do with it what God gave it to you for. Now, see, I can see that guy opened the door for Coach Prime to come to Colorado. I didn't want him to leave Jackson State. Now, I didn't know all this was going to happen. But I thought it was great that he was enriching HBCUs. I did. But I went to HBCU, so I know how it goes sometimes. So I wasn't upset when he left. But I'm upset as hell that they did Kaidon dirty. They expect a photo op with Pat Schumer to make that kid believe something else is happening. When Pat Schumer go right back up there in that booth with somebody standing over his shoulder and do exactly what he did with Georgia Tech. And he going to do it again with every team that has something at stake. You know who we going to beat? West Virginia. You know why? Because we 15 and they 16. Should have let Buck kick a field goal on that one. Yeah. How did that happen? Right? I mean, you mean to tell me you got Draylon over there and scored 2 touchdowns and you can't get him to go 1 yard? You can't get your run pass option quarterback to go 1 yard. You can't get Michael Welsh to go 1 yard. And you gave the momentum in the game over to BYU. And nothing but nice things about the head coach and what he said. But what was printed about Coach Prime? This right here tells you a lot, just like that onion, just like the picture of Shedeur and Travis. See, I'm convinced Shedeur and Travis didn't need to be coached. I don't give a damn who feelings hurt about it. I don't think Shedeur and Travis need to be coached. And I don't think Shedeur ever had to be coached because he is grown. But see, some coaching need to happen right now. And you see what's happening. And you know that's what people going to say. They already said it. Coach Prime need help in the coaching department. I'm like, God damn, the season ain't even started yet. He need help coaching. I wonder what they saying now. They telling us what he's saying about his players. That's messy. That's messy to say the players can't handle the lights, but they reporting how Bachmeier is praised by his coach. That's messy. And that's why he got to be careful how he move forward. Because who are you aligning against? See, they telling us what you're saying about your players and you trying to recruit. You don't think these kids' parents reading this? Yeah, they're reading this. And if they're anything like me, they're going to read what Bachmeier's saying about his players too. Maybe you need to go over there to BYU. Be careful. It said after a holding call was nullified a 46-yard run by Kaidon Salter. But all you can hear about is that goddamn interception at the end of the game. And two totally different reactions at Wake Forest and Colorado. And the same shit is happening. Inside job to hold back the quarterback. It said Colorado wide receiver Omarion Miller remained in the game. But Kaidon was doing well and got pulled out. Imagine how he feel when he out here running 45 yards, using his legs. Use your legs, Kaidon. Use your legs. Use your legs. And Omarion stays in the game. And then it said the penalty was followed by a 22-yard sack on Salter, a play on which Miller was reportedly open. I mean, I don't know, I mean, I'm just saying. Maybe he petty. I don't know. I don't know. But I know he's 22. I know that. And I know them 22-year-olds, when you mess with their livelihood or their feelings, they some of them in jail right now. I'm just saying. It said the sequence of events was as follows. It said during the fourth quarter, Colorado 24-21 lost to BYU on September 27th, yada, yada, yada. It said a long run by Salter was called back due to the holding penalty on Miller. Now, remember, at the end, the interception, who on the ground praying to Jesus? And, I'm just saying. And on the next play, Salter was sacked for a significant loss of 22 yards. How old is he? Yeah, okay. It said Miller stayed on the field after the holding penalty. Now, in Kaidon's press conference, now I ain't starting no shit, but I'm just telling you right now, these kids you're dealing with here, and they grown kids, but they still kids nonetheless. Kaidon said we didn't make the proper adjustments. I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, what are you talking about? And this is why I say, come on out, Kaidon. Come on out, Kaidon, because you ain't over the bullshit that's happening. And the bullshit ain't over. Understand that. It said the play was critical. A turning point for Colorado, and people worried about an interception. And head coach Deion Sanders was seen walking off the field saying wide open after the sack, referring to Miller being open on the play. But what did he say or do about Miller's penalty that called back Kaidon Salter's 46-yard run, resulted in a sack? And I can't wait to find out who was on the right tackle. Because if it wasn't number 84, I'm going to say it was a setup. So here's the thing. Kaidon, Miller, and Hodge, I know for sure, the three of them, and Sincere Brown, are trying to get to the league, right? Nobody wants to take Hodge out because he's trying to get to the league, but he got 40, 45 yards in penalties. Nobody wants to take Omarion out with his cute shoes. I saw him. Because he's trying to get to the league. Nobody gives a damn. It's Sincere Brown trying to get to the league because he's the second fastest wide receiver in college football. And nobody throw a ball to him. There's no play to utilize him. Nobody ever said BYU's receivers or corners could hold our receivers. See, every time our receiver core could get the job done, the receivers get underutilized. See, this happened with Georgia Tech. See, the same thing. Pat Schumer telling on himself. And obviously he don't give a damn what you think either. Just like Kevin Stefanski don't care. What a goddamn coincidence. What a coincidence. Pat Schumer don't care what nobody think, and Kevin Stefanski don't care what nobody think. Schumer got Kaidon, and Stefanski got Shedeur. You see? But when these kids come out here and bust their butt and start off fast, and Schumer slowing the game down, is anybody gonna do anything about it? Where's the accountability? What did Coach Flea say? See, two things can be true. He could be in his feelings and he could be right. Where is the accountability? Where's the accountability for Preston Hines with all them goddamn penalties? Where's the accountability for punting the ball away on 4th and 1? Where's the accountability for leaving Omarion in there with the damn holding? Where's the accountability for Kaidon Salter running out there 46 yards and Omarion stays in the game? Where's the accountability? There was no deep balls, no plays for Sincere Brown. Even though I know I heard Coach Prime say Sincere Brown, he want him to get every opportunity, but yet he got one. Are we playing favorites around here? Sincere Brown showed you he was the second fastest wide receiver and had one target. He was a blocker. I told you Evan Johnson was good. I never said they were going to hold all of our receivers. Because matter of fact, we talked about it. We said they couldn't. But guess what? They never even got the opportunity to be pressed. Because again, Kaidon don't have a goddamn sleeve to call his own plays. He's being controlled by Pat Schumer, and Coach Prime is allowing it. Instead of talking about who the hell was wide open, what about all them goddamn penalties? Where's the accountability for that? Where's the accountability for Kaidon to run down there for 46 yards? But all people want to talk about is a goddamn interception after they being cheated by people that work there again. Where's the accountability for the damn play call? So, yeah, Coach Flea's right. Two things can be true. He could be a little salty and honest at the same time. Dart already got pulled for a hamstring. Oh, that's crazy. Schumer promoting the NFL agenda of no more starting black quarterbacks. Right. And whoever over there is doing the same thing to Robbie Ashford at Wake Forest. Robbie Ashford was so upset. I knew why he threw the interception. See, Kaidon just don't let it show, but I knew. How you think I could sit up here and pull up this scoring drive information? Or why you think I was looking into the penalties? I knew we had penalties. I wanted to see what happened after the penalties. Not a goddamn thing. Where's the accountability for that? See, I don't know what the hell is going on over there, but I know it's messy. I know it's chaotic. And I know it's layered. And I know sitting down Kaidon and putting in Juju ain't going to fix it. And I know Pat Schumer ain't going to let us win shit when we play another team that got something at stake. See, the definition of insanity is doing the same damn thing over and over and over and over and over, but you expect a different result. Maybe when we get to the end of the season and we're 4-8, people will get the message. Black head coaches typically only get a year or two. It is very possible Colorado gave Coach Prime that big fat contract knowing it wasn't going to never, ever be fulfilled. And say, and the Giants wide receivers got carted off with an injured knee. All of this to the first game playing without Russ, right? And people over there cheering, they not cheering because they won the game. That's not what they cheering. They cheering because they set Russ down and they got it done with Dart with 100 yards. I told you, they will burn it all down first. Look at how hard they fighting to get to 17. And you know what people say? You still going to get there. But it's going to be a dogfight and it's going to be some casualties. And unfortunately, Kaidon Salter might be one. And that might be what's weighing on him because, I mean, honestly, if this your last shot and this is what's happening to you, it makes you want to cry inside because you can't do nothing about it. And the people you entrusted ain't doing nothing about it either. That's a lot for a 22-year-old. I told you, these young people be flashing out behind less. They flash out behind less. It's a young lady right now with the Texas Southern. Her boyfriend would let her look at his phone. Do you know she stabbed him and killed him for less? And you mess with this young man livelihood he been playing for all his life for less. Y'all keep playing with these young people. That frontal lobe. Schumer switched up what was working. He did the same thing with Georgia Tech. If it's Draylon or DeKalon or Simeon Price, they got the running game got to stop. I thought the running game mattered so much. Let me tell you what all of the talk about the run game is. So the quarterbacks don't shine. That's it. Why y'all think Ashton Jeanty was drafted in the first round? After they already said, oh, the NFL don't value running back. You know why? So I don't have to hear about Geno Smith every day. You know why Geno Smith is in Vegas? So I don't have to have no justification, so I don't draft Shedeur. These people been sitting down talking and thinking. And you're not cheering for what you think you're cheering for. And they wasn't cheering for Jackson Dart. TCU gonna do something. Hell yeah, TCU gonna do something. He coach, and you know it's crazy. These kids, if they talk amongst themselves, and I hope they see this podcast, they gonna start out fast, and the same thing gonna happen, and one of them gonna lose their shit. See, eventually one of them gonna lose it. You know, it's good when you got that many and you can keep them all like that. But these kids getting fussed at on camera. See, I would stop that right now. I would just go head on and say some kind words and talk off camera, because you're berating these kids on camera and it's not them solely. And it definitely ain't all of them. Right? Let's see the part when he congratulate the kickers. Let's see the part when he congratulate Draylon. Show me that. Don't show me with him berating these kids when if he ain't gonna berate Pat Schumer and Livingston. I told y'all Livingston ain't got nothing to lose. They made him the highest paid defensive coordinator because now that we know hindsight is 2020, because Travis Hunter, Levanta Bentley, and everybody else, Chidozie, and everybody else that I named, BJ Green. That's why he got paid, because they were some dogs. Because we see what he got going on. And I said it in the Nebraska game. Why is it Colorado figure out whether to play man or zone after the whistle blow? And it's always the end of the game is when we figure it out. That ain't no accident, bro. So people need to get off Kaidon back. It said, believe me, Juju parents are talking to him now and making their next move. I believe it. I believe it. And say, like Shannon and Ocho said, he got to go. It ain't enough money in Colorado. Who you talking about? Dion, who's that? Dean? Let me know. It says CU doesn't have the money to recruit the trenches. No, they don't. And here's the thing, right? I mean, you know, if you don't have the money to recruit the trenches, right? You doing just like Cleveland. You ain't even worried about this year. You just gonna let it go to hell, right? Which is exactly what happened with Livingston. And somebody told me he 3-1, whatever, right? Because he wasn't right. See, this is my problem with certain people. You don't have to trash Shedeur because you want Jackson Dart. You don't have to tank Coach Prime and these kids whole season because you got an issue with Coach Prime. You messing up for these kids. See, that's what I don't like. I don't like it. Because these kids came to play ball. And I do think it's a bait and switch for Coach Prime to run an aggressive program for every year of his coaching career going back to Trinity. And for this year, we're going to get a quarterback 16 reps, but Shedeur can have 41. See, that don't look good. What you telling the quarterback that was standing out there? Excuse me. What the hell you think Pat Schumer told the quarterback that was standing out there for 2027, the young black guy? Oh, you just going to get 16 reps. Yo, we're going to see what happened with that. I ain't wishing nobody bad, but at some point they're going to stop coming for the bright lights because you saying the kids can't handle the bright lights. But what about Pat Schumer? See, what they're recording, they should not be recording. See, berating the kids on camera is no different than a reporter that said, Coach Prime said something to Kaidon Salter or walked off the field talking about these kids can't handle the bright lights. See, it's always about the kids. And what did Coach Flea say? There's no accountability. You see? Stop recording that. Record the nice things that he says if you want to help. Otherwise, you set him up too. And you filming what you shouldn't be. How does CU not have money? Because if they don't want the head coach, they ain't gonna have the money. You're right. CU's offense looks a lot like Cleveland. Right. Why? And that should tell you who's running things. See, when Coach Prime stand there with their head set up, that ain't good. Because you letting us know you letting Pat Schumer run this in the ground. That's poor management. That's what's gonna get you fired. If they had enough money, they'd have a baseball team. It said no baseball team. Yeah, they don't have a baseball team. It said negative. They got rid of baseball team because they didn't have enough funds. Yeah, so this is about money. You think Prime sacrificing for Shedeur? It ain't helping, so he might as well stop if he is. Honestly, no. I don't think it's that. I did question was somebody holding his kids hostage because he was letting Pat Schumer mess it up. But that ain't helping anyway, is it? No. So if so, no, I don't think it's that. You know what I really think it is? I think it's a perspective of things went south with the first OC, and I had to fire him. And I could have fired him during the season, but for whatever reason, I had to let the season bleed out. That's happening again, right? And I think what's also happening to Coach Prime is happening because he fired. What's his name? Lewis. I think what happened to Shedeur happened because Lewis got fired. Remember the little anonymous post said, and Shedeur had a hand in who the coach was. He was talking about Lewis. This is about Lewis. So now you got your NFL buddy in here and he dragging you down. Let me see you fire him. You ain't gonna do it. Because for one, was Lewis really the problem? See, they took the revenge out on Shadeur in the draft. They getting Coach Prime right now by tanking his season because they know black coaches don't get but a year or two. Now, mind you, he gonna be about $44 million richer, but is that really what Coach Prime want? See, they gonna have to weigh their hatred against their wallets because they got it. See, they ain't gonna have no money for NIL, but they gonna pony up that buyout, or they gonna let him sit over there and suffer just like Shedeur. Humiliation, Jim Crow. Exclusion and humiliation. Pat Schumer already excluded him by dragging the team down. The media set him up by saying the negative things about the kids, but saying positive things about Buckmeyer. I hope he know that. See, this podcast episode might be a little hard for some people, but it's the God honest truth. You being played. The media out here playing you. You don't have no friends over there. Kaidon is the one you need. But he being done dirty. And these kids talk. Did y'all know Will Shepherd had a brother that goes to Duke? People still not happy about Colton Hood and Brandon Hood leaving. Shout out to Dylan Edwards, player of the game. People having conversations amongst themselves on social media about how well the players are doing once they leave Colorado. Isn't that what they say about players once they leave Cleveland? Again, why on earth would Coach Prime allow Schumer to run Colorado like Cleveland? See, that's the part right there. That ain't making no sense. Because when you get fired from this job, I don't see nobody in the NFL hiring him. Not now. They won't even keep Shiloh or pick him up, and they won't place Shedeur. So I don't see a place for him, whether somebody over there lying to him or not. They seem like they specializing in ostracizing the Sanders. And I said it's because they want the Manning legacy to be preserved and fruitful, but they don't want the Sanders. They are actively shunning the Sanders. And I've already said to people in my own house, Coach Prime's biggest regret or problem or mistake is hiring Pat Schumer. Because he wasn't good. So why did he even come there? He don't even call the same kind of offense that Coach Prime been running since he been coaching. So everything that you've been doing has stopped. And it was working. But now Pat Schumer gets the nod and you the head coach. So he undermining you and you letting it happen. And doing Kaidon dirty ain't going to help you with these kids and their parents. They just waiting for January. Coach Prime has made a lot of money for CU, and now they're ready for him to go. Yeah, And here's the thing about that. I even question, were they ever really serious about Coach Prime long term? Or did they just pull him away from Jackson State to alter the progress, get it up for them, and discard him? I'm going to say it one more time. Were they ever really serious about Coach Prime long term? Look at all the black quarterbacks they have. I mean, head coaches they've had, and see how long they were there. Or did they decide, okay, this HBCU stuff is going too far? Go over there. Somebody, one of y'all got to get Prime, just like they did Shedeur in the draft. One of y'all got to get him. Let him come over here and make you some money. In about 3 years, we cut it off because the HBCU stuff has gone away. Is that not possible? He's been set up from within twice. He's been there 3 years and set up from within over 2 years. And the only reason year 2 didn't happen is because Shedeur called his own plays and he paying for it, is suffering right now in the NFL for that exact thing, which is why Kaidon didn't want to go against Schumer. But again, does Kaidon have a sleeve where he can call his own plays? See, Coach Prime should have made sure Kaidon had a sleeve because Shedeur had one. So why are you switching up now? These are all questions that need answers. They need to go and find somebody to invest in them. I think they already did that and got in trouble because you can't do that. Yes, he's making them a lot of money. Yup. I think somebody get paid to throw the game. I think at this point it ain't just Pat Schumer. At first, I felt like it was the OC because in Georgia Tech, all I could see is when things were working and it was working for CU, it wasn't working. Like Haynes King, who they trying to get out first, the ACC, was struggling. Just like I watched Wake Forest hold back Haynes King and company. And I said, whoa. And they got cheated. But see, the refs cheated for Georgia Tech. Somebody inside the house at the Buffs held back Colorado so that until Georgia Tech could get its footing and then proceed. We wasn't supposed to win Georgia Tech. We wasn't supposed to win BYU. Both were winnable games. Coach Prime would look good, wasn't he? Do we look good right now? No. So it ain't Kaidon the only one being sold up the river. It said Buck gets overlooked while Mata kicks low every time. It said you are referring to Draylon Miller. He was open, but Kaidon threw the ball and it got deflected on the line. Right. It's about talk your shit. Yeah, I mean, it just is what it is. Colorado looked bad there. Offense was stagnant. Right. Offense started off like zoom. See, this happened with Georgia Tech, and I told y'all, I don't think nobody expected them kids to ball out in the beginning of those games. Remember, CU always had late starts. I think people were counting on that as if they didn't attribute that to Shedeur for some odd reason. But these are 2 games right here. These kids came out kicking. The effort that I said they needed, and the word that Coach Prime needs to start using. You're dealing with underdeveloped frontal lobes. You just gonna need to say it. Effort. I need high effort and intense play for 60 minutes. I don't need you just to hold on. I need you to be at the top. I need you to play at a high level. I need high level effort for 60 minutes. Something Travis gave us, something Shedeur gave us. Something that made them great. You want to get there? That's what you're going to have to do. And that's the reality of it. These kids going to have to be 2 times better than to get somewhere. And the quarterback's going to have to be 3. And it still might not matter. But that's where 11 on 11 come in at. Don't forget. It say when Sis Cussy is over. Yeah, I'm like, Schumer made the offense go stagnant, right? And it's not and you're going to see it again. You're going to see it versus TCU. You're going to see it versus everybody that has something at stake. We're not going to get it, though. And the message is, we don't care about your season, just like Cleveland don't care about theirs. Now, we can't imagine Coach Prime thinks like that. but we all believe Schumer's calling plays like it, right? This is 2 winnable games. We weren't gonna never win with U of H. Why? Why we didn't rotate with quarterbacks? Why we left Staub in the whole time? Why we didn't rotate? We rotated when Kaidon started, but we didn't rotate when Staub started. Playing favorites. That's why Colton Hood left. Must have been. Must have been. They only had 6 penalties, right? But they were costly. It don't matter how many penalties you have. It matters when you have them and how it disrupts the game. So, yeah. Yes, accused of playing favorites. It must be because, again, Kaidon, Omarion, and Preston Hodge are all trying to get to the league, and Sincere Brown. But understand this. Preston Hodge gets to play regardless of the number of pass interference, which cost the game. Omarion gets to stay in after holding after Kaidon runs down there for 46 yards. Nobody talks about the run call back. They want to talk about the scramble. They want to talk about the interception. By then, it don't matter. It's over. The damage is done. These kids out here, I told you, they are not 25, 35, 45, 55. These kids being fussed at every week. Complete your assignment. Complete your assignment. Play fast. They did that. They even gave the effort that I asked for. And did it matter? No. But they the ones getting fussed at, not Pat Schumer. Pat Schumer should have been fired already. See, when you a boss and you let malfeasance take place, that's going to be on you. It says some of those pass interference were bad calls by the ref. Okay. Well, he still should have been taken out the game. Should have called a timeout after Salter ran for that. He was visibly winded. That's on Coach Prime and staff. That's what people, I told you, the biggest 2 complaints that external sources who are in the know, subject matter experts on football, say is the problem with Colorado is Pat Schumer's play calling, and nobody will fire him, and Coach Prime's clock management. Ain't nobody saying nothing about Kaidon. Prime chose the organization over the student athletes that trusted him. Divide and conquer is in effect. Oh. It's his own fault for hiring Schumer. Yeah, we still been asking. Now, who hired Schumer? See, that's why I think he don't want to fire him. Because if he hired Lewis, then he had to turn around and fire Lewis and find somewhere else for him to go. Because this contract says something. He just couldn't just kick him out because these coaches have buyouts. So maybe Schumer has a buyout, which he should have never been the full. Again, his style, when they said Schumer came highly recommended, for what purpose? For this purpose right here? To hold back the program? Because his style of offense is the total 360 opposite, or 180 opposite of the aggressive style of football that Coach Prime runs. And that's why Schumer said that petty shit about Shedeur being like Daniel Jones. Now, who being petty now? And he still worked there. He should, bro. No. See that? See right there? See, I have to go in my own pocket and pay your buyout before I let you take down my team and disrupt these kids' lives. Because that's what's happening. And I'm telling you, it's not going to be until recruiting suffers. Because that's the middle of the end right there. Trust the wrong people. Familiarity isn't always the best choice. Again, even if you was familiar with him, what about his style of offense fits with what the hell you had going on when Shedeur was here? Nothing. Nothing. These kids came thinking Pat Schumer was the OC. That's why people are having conversations about Travis not being developed. Pat Schumer just really not a good play caller. This is coming out the NFL. And we still letting it happen over here in Colorado. If Coach Prime need to go in his own bank account and get whatever Pat Schumer's buyout is, if he hired him, and tell him thank you, and we're going to go in a different direction. And get Brett Bertolone up there. And let him call the plays. Because if Pat Schumer called the plays in the first quarter and he decided to do a pivot, then you better ask him why. That's what Flea is talking about when he says no accountability. And them kids, They feel the same way. They just tell their parents. Cameron, Silver, Craig, and Shiloh. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Max say he too nice. It's a cold world. These folks play a cold game and Prime let it happen. Yeah. I'm like, you can't. Here's the thing. You need recruits to survive. You not only letting your OC lose winnable games that to the point where it's obvious. You showing wide receivers, ain't no point in you coming here. You showing black quarterback, ain't no point in you coming here. 16 reps for Kaidon. The Georgia Tech game, he didn't even have more than 20, 21 or 22, maybe 25. Shedeur, 41. That's what they came for. They came for this right here. But is this what they're getting? The freedom to call plays? No. What did Coach Prime say? Last year, he said the OC and the DC would ask Travis and Shedeur what you see because y'all are out there. Why that's not happening this year? From where I see, Kaidon can't get a sleeve. So you know what that tells me? That tells me that Coach Prime told them OCs and DCs this what it's going to be. But see, this year, Kaidon can't get a sleeve. He only had 16 reps. There's no adjustments made because people want to go to the league. He trying to go too. Him and Sincere. See them two? Them two need to be over there practicing somewhere. And Kaidon need to ask for a sleeve. What they gonna do? His parents need to call up there. Well, when we let Kaidon come on up there, your son was getting 41 reps because we looked at the stats. And he had a sleeve and he could call his own plays. Now our son is being heavily restricted. We're gonna need you to do something about that. Accountability. You see how some of these parents be speaking out. Was it JoJo parents? Did his mom speak out? Who did y'all see primarily in this game? JoJo. Did you see Sincere Brown? The second fastest wide receiver in college football last week. See what playing favorites gonna get you? See what speaking out gonna get you? This is what Coach Flea was talking about. In order to have a good team, you need to have mean big dogs on the O-line and D-line. Yeah, aggression, because you can't teach it. Aggression is temporary if you're not wired that way. Somebody said, Coach Prime isn't that nice. There's something going on behind the scenes. Right, but he can control it, right? It said no kids are going to want to play for Schumer. Yeah, because of what they see. They're like, wait a minute, what's going on here? What's going on here? What's going on? A lot of media people are saying that CU needs to run the ball in order to top offensive lineman recruits, to get offensive lineman recruits. It said, I guess they don't want to drop back and pass too much. Yeah, because that's how you hold back the quarterback, by running the ball. Also, the reason why Ashton Jeanty went in the first round when, hell, before the draft, they was talking about the NFL don't respect running backs. They do this year because I want to limit the quarterback. That's why. And it's happening at Colorado, and that's insane. It said, well, being nice isn't helping. No, it's not. It's not happening. It's not helping. Recruits don't want to play for Shermer, but they will for Leftwich. And where is Byron Leftwich at? Because when you ask on the internet, he worked there. Have you seen him? So maybe the story about the grocery store is exactly what it was. Something about, yeah, I'm not doing that no more because something about too much politics. Maybe that's the real reality. Because what I told you I saw before the Georgia Tech game, that they said behind the scenes, Colorado is a SS with the word show and before it. And I dismissed it because I just couldn't conceive that my own self. But with that Georgia Tech game, what was happening? I was like, okay, what's happening here? And then the whole quarterback snafu, how they did Kaidon dirty. I said, that's what they talking about. And like I said, you had all of that going on behind the scenes, and it still is, and it's getting worse. All of the kids ganging up on Kaidon. Why is that? What did Pat Shedeur say? I knew the kids would respond to him. What the hell you worry about what some kids think for? You not. It just fits your agenda. And left Staub out there and look terrible. But he don't have NFL aspirations, but they left him out there, and Kaidon does, and they took him out. So whose bidding are we doing here? Whose bidding are we allowing to take place? I already asked who's in charge. Coach Prime made it known, him. Oh, okay, so this is gonna be on you. All right. Remember when Staub said during his post game that he made audibles and threw those long balls to Sincere Brown? Shedeur did it too. Sherman is either incompetent or sabotaging. He is not incompetent. That man worked in NFL for 23 years. He's been around football for at least 30. He's not incompetent. And if anybody thinks that, you're going to get played and don't come to Atlanta because they're going to know you're green. He's not incompetent. Again, has anybody seen Kaidon with a sleeve on his waist, on his arm? No. All you see is this. This right here is something Shedeur had. You think Kaidon don't know that? You think Coach Prime don't know that Kaidon don't have one? Imagine being Kaidon and you know Shedeur had 41 reps. You know Shedeur had a sleeve and call his own plays. And you get there and you only get 16 and you got to struggle through a helmet with 50,000 screaming fans and your OC won't even come down to the field. And all you hearing him say is nothing good about you, but that the other QB3 is cerebral and plays like a quarterback, which means you don't. And he has no positive feedback for you. The question is Coach Prime blind to racism? That's the real question. Is he blind or slow to accept that racism is happening? How long did it take him to understand that's what was happening to Shedeur, and that what happened to Shedeur was about 17 to 32 and not about him, and that he was just a scapegoat, and Shedeur is Shiloh is collateral damage, and the NFL wants the Manning legacy, but they're not interested in the Sanders legacy because they're black. How long? How long? I knew before the draft. I played in college. They don't do leadership. Nobody has it. Yep. They all left for a reason. Yeah, they left for a reason. It's just crazy. Yep, Tina, that's what it's called. Politics. And I think that's why left left. And too much politics. It said the NFL media and collegiate football are on one accord in destroying Prime's legacy. Right. But here's the thing, Lee, he ain't helping it. He helping to destroy his own legacy. Again, sometimes people don't know what they're really cheering for. He needed Kaidon. See, this was the one. Shedeur, what did they say about him? Oh, he can't run. Even though I felt like he ain't Kaidon, but he could run. That was just to hold him back. But he can't see that they trying to hold back Kaidon. And you black and you doing it? Or you're not doing it directly, but you're allowing it? That's going to be the biggest Jesus wiping the sand and the mud out of his eyes ever. That the same thing that they did to Shedeur, they use you to allow happen to Kaidon, which means ain't no point having no black head coaches if we just gonna let them do what the other ones do. Understand, Kaidon was held to 16 reps while we had the class of 2027 black QB out there. You think Pat Shurmur don't know that? If I was Coach Prime, I'd be like, I'm finna call these plays. We finna look as good as possible. But no, what did the media put out there? Coach Prime said the light's too bright for these kids. You think that kid ain't gonna find out about that? You think some of them other kids ain't gonna talk to him? You gotta understand that, see, Coach Prime thinks a lot of things that happen to him seemingly happen because he's prime time from the NFL. And it seems to me, outside looking in respectfully, that he don't see the racism until it's too late. And I ain't sure he see it yet. Because if he saw it, Pat Shurmur would not be calling them plays after the Georgia Tech game. He would know that what happened to Shedeur is also what's happening to Kaidon under his watch. Again, some people not gonna like this podcast episode, but you know what? You can't sugarcoat everything. And when somebody hand a cake to you, you can't just eat the damn icing. You gotta cut it open and taste the filling. It ain't always about the frosting and the icing. You got to look a little deeper. It said this episode was definitely needed. That's why I appreciate you. It said good, bad, or indifferent. It said you tell your truth and you back it up with facts. Right. And somebody said to me on X, because I said, up, Juju a bust. And they were like, damn, you moved on from Kaidon fast. I'm like, no, I didn't. I'm like, but Kaidon got to advocate for himself. I know what's going on. I ain't stupid. I know. What did I just sit up here and say? I mean, maybe he a little petty. I don't know. But I know if you do me dirty at the age of 22, and matter of fact, I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story. Y'all know I went to grad school, got a master's, right? What you don't know is that I had an internship in public policy with a state representative in the state of Texas. That's what you don't know. And my school where I actually got my degree from, knew I had the opportunity and I wanted to go to Austin to obviously to do this internship, right? It still pissed me off. And they were like, we can't let you go. You're going to have to transfer it. If you transfer, you're going to have to lose some time and you're going to have to do it over at UT, right? I was like, what? I'm like, you mean to tell me that I have to do a field practicum in Austin and transfer out of the program in Houston? That I can't just go to Austin and do my work online like everybody else? No. You're going to have to transfer out the program. You're going to lose some credits. I have not given them a goddamn dime. And I'm not. And they find me no matter where I move at, and I throw that shit in the trash, bro. Because what? I'm like, you gonna make me miss that opportunity of a lifetime when online distance learning is a thing. Are you serious right now? Bro. I still get mad about that. See, I was young and I was hot. Boy, I was hot. I'm still mad about that. And I am not 22. But I'm telling you right now, Kaidon is 22. And posting that damn picture with Pat Shermer and him hugging, I told y'all I don't trust that because Pat Shermer went right in that booth and called the same thing. But here is the problem. Why is Coach Prime allowing Pat Shermer to call a conservative game, which is the direct opposite of what was working for him and had him to be labeled a winning coach? That's the real question. But being 22, he's not going to get over that right now because this is a huge opportunity for him to get to the next level. That's why I came here. And that's exactly what I said in grad school. Well, goddamn it, this is why I came here. And I get this opportunity. And you talking about I got to transfer to UT and I got to lose some time and we got computers. What the hell are we doing, bro? That upset me so much. I never got over that. Every time I love my school, don't stand my kid, my daughter with it and everything. I don't get him no money. I'm not giving him no money because they didn't have to do me like that. You trying to tell me that this is what people come here for, and you don't help me to get it. You help to stop it. I didn't just say Kaidon came to Colorado so he could get to the NFL. Kaidon played Little League football for Coach Prime, and his brother is right there, and all of this is happening in front of his family. As if he's a stranger to them, and he's not. This is what he came for. And they're not working with him. They're working against him. So what the hell did I come here for? And yes, I'm still upset about that. Woo. All right. But I went on ahead and graduated from there. But I don't get him the money. I'm just saying. I'm sorry. No. I did get something else, in the mayor's office. Mayor Pro Tem, actually. It was cool. But it wasn't the same. And I still ain't giving him no money. So I'm just saying, 22, right? 22. K. Benson, Miller Jones, Slusher, and Dylan doing great. Okay. Slusher, Miles Slusher, right? Miller Jones. Oh, it's somebody else too. Somebody else. I said, wait a minute. I think that person went to Colorado. See, a lot of the players like the posts of the other players that left, right? Because remember, some of them just got here. So they still keep in contact with whoever left. See, these players talk to each other, right? One of the big draw for Coach Prime was his connection with the NFL. What did the NFL show you in the draft? Right? And Colorado still sold out 3 seasons. And I said, that's God looking out, because that was ugly what they did. I felt like they used Coach Prime, tried to hurt him intentionally, the program. And now we got Schumer over here with this, right? And I did ask, has somebody been kidnapped? And he the only person that know where they at, because that's what it was given. If you saw the movie Higher or Lower, Highest to Lowest, something like that, right? Where you got to be at somebody's beck and call, and they got something over you. That's what it was given. But now we done moved away from that, because we know it's not that. But what is it, right? I don't rack my brain trying to figure out what it is. Here's what I do know. I know there's a reason for it, and it's not going to help his career, because too many things are happening on this side with just the career on this side. Even the coaching reputation is being ruined on this side. Recruiting will eventually look at what the media is putting out about what he's saying versus what BYU is saying about their kids. Look at what they're posting about the end of the press conference and how he's fussing at the kids, but the world is wanting to hold him accountable for time clock management, is wanting to hold Pat Schumer accountable and looking for accountability for the play calling. See that right there? It's so much on the side that ain't going right. And just the career over here. Understand, things change. Things change. And black head coaches don't get a whole lot of opportunity to get it right. Hell, Brian Flores got fired at NFL after a winning season because he said they incentivized him to lose, and he said no, so he won and they fired him. And now you bring those people to college football and they're going to turn on you. They're going to align with the people that didn't want you there in the first place, and they're going to tear you down, just like they did Shedeur. It said Jada at BYU is doing good. Okay, see, a lot of people know where the kids are. Hey, Nia, how you doing? It said you are so on point with your analysis of what's really happening. It said correct. CP needs to stop blasting on these kids, period. No way. Coach Prime does not know that Schumer is the problem. I think he knows, because what were we doing? We were laughing at the guy standing in the booth looking down. And we were all like, I said, oh, who was that? And everybody was like, oh, he got a bodyguard up there. So that tells us that you know something. And if you do, you need to fix it and not let it bleed out like you did Lewis. Because we don't have a whole lot of time. Kaidon don't have time. And if you worried about Omarion and Preston Hodge, but not Sincere and Kaidon, I'm going to have to ask why. They all trying to get to the league. And we already know the lessons from Shedeur, the NFL going to be harder for Kaidon. So why are we making it harder for Kaidon? He was done dirty, and you want him to forget about it like that. That ain't going to happen, bro. Because I still won't give you a bait to die. Not of my money. Not for me. They say, you know how I feel. They took him away from building that black excellence. Yep. I mean, he had a choice, though. He had a choice. Prime said he had to elevate. They played him lovingly. I think so. We gonna see. We can't say for sure, but you can look down the road, and hindsight is 2020. And from where we sit right now, you would think there would be people swarming all over Pat Schumer, telling Coach Prime, you got to fire him from within Colorado, because he's tanking our season and we're not going back to 1-11. Do you think that's happening? No. See, that's the biggest tell right there. That Rick George ain't over there standing behind Pat Schumer, looking over his shoulder. What the hell you doing? I ain't trying to go back to 1-11. You gonna make me lose my job. Where are all the people that give a damn about the winning record? Maybe they in Cleveland, where they don't give a damn about the winning record for the Browns either. See how that worked? All right, I'm gonna get myself out of here. This was good. 2 hours and 6 minutes. We're probably gonna have this conversation again. I couldn't get to everybody's comments, but almost. No, not it. Almost. So we'll be back tomorrow, everybody. Again, too many similarities. with Cleveland and Colorado, and seemingly Pat Schumer, games that Colorado could have won were given to the opponent because they had something at stake, and it seemed more important for them to win than it was for Colorado because we last, so we don't have nothing at stake. The only team we're going to beat, we're 15, is West Virginia. That's 16. Pay attention to the next game on the schedule. If they ranked, pay attention. Pay attention. All right. Have a good night, everybody. I appreciate y'all. 129 of us hit the like button. Hit the like button again. I already know some of y'all not going to like this episode, and that's fine. We're going to have to agree to disagree because I ain't been wrong yet. All right, everybody. Have a good night. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Be sure to join our daily live stream and listen up to What She Said Sports on the go on Spotify. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Stay for another video.